You know, that rare kind of thing that doesn't try to impress you, but somehow wins your heart anyway. Not with noise or flash, but with quiet consistency. The way your favorite sweater fits just right, or how your dog greets you like you're the best thing that's happened all day, every single time. That's the 2026 Toyota Stout. It doesn't roar onto the scene like a storm. It arrives like sunrise, gentle, reliable, and full of quiet promise. No drama, no pretense, just honest presence. And in a world that never stops shouting about speed, status, and spectacle, the Stout's calm confidence feels almost revolutionary. Welcome to AutoXplore, where we believe the best vehicles aren't always the loudest, but the ones that feel most like home. And today, we're meeting a truck that's not here to chase trends. It's here to carry your life, one real moment at a time. From the very first glance, the Stout invites you in, not with aggression, but with grace. Its stance is grounded, purposeful, like someone who knows exactly who they are and doesn't need to prove it. The front end wears Toyota's new Horizon Beam grille, a wide, horizontal sweep of textured aluminum that echoes open landscapes and endless roads. It's flanked by crisp LED headlights with delicate light blades that trace the upper edge like dawn breaking over a ridge. There's no chrome bling, no exaggerated vents, just clean lines, thoughtful proportions, and a subtle bronze accent along the fender flares that catches the light like morning sun on canyon walls. Even the badging is restrained, a simple, Stout emblem stamped into the metal, not stuck on like a sticker. This is design with dignity, not trying to grab attention, but earning respect through balance, harmony, and quiet strength. Walk around to the side, and the story deepens. The profile flows with natural rhythm, wheels pushed to the corners, fender flares swelling just enough to house 33-inch all-terrain tires without looking swollen or strained. The character line that runs from headlight to taillight isn't just a crease. It's a structural ridge, reinforcing the body while giving the Stout a sense of forward motion even when parked. Integrated rock rails double as steps and armor, forged from aluminum tough enough to shrug off trail rash, yet finished smoothly so they don't snag your jeans. The greenhouse is generous without being flashy, windows sized for real visibility, thick pillars that feel substantial but never blind, and those door handles, flush mounted to reduce wind noise, but engineered with a satisfying mechanical click, a small pleasure in a world going touchless. This is a side view that understands proportion as poetry, not too tall, not too low, just perfectly right for the work it's meant to do and the life it's meant to live. Then you reach the rear, and here, the Stout reveals its soul. The tailgate isn't just a door, it's a tool, a stage, a friend. Crafted from hydroformed aluminum, it lowers on smooth hydraulic dampers and locks at 3 positions: 30 degrees for easy access, 60 for loading gear, or fully flat to support 400 pounds as a workbench or tailgate seat. Flip it down, and you'll find ruler markings in both metric and imperial, 4 hidden cleats that pop out silently, and a recessed channel perfectly shaped to hold a 2-liter bottle upright, because someone at Toyota remembered that little frustrations ruin good moments. Above, the taillights stretch across the cab with a fine honeycomb lens that diffuses LED light into a soft, uniform glow visible from afar but never harsh. Between them, the Stout name is stamped directly into the bodywork, not applied as a decal, a quiet statement that this truck is built to last, not just to sell. The rear bumper hides recovery points that sit flush until needed, and the hitch receiver tucks neatly beneath when not in use. Even the license plate recess is contoured to shed mud, a detail only noticed after years of ownership, precisely when it matters most. But what truly sets the Stout apart isn't what you see, it's what you feel. A sense of calm readiness, a quiet certainty that this truck won't let you down, whether you're hauling firewood, chasing sunset drives, or helping a friend move across town. It doesn't need to shout about its capability because it's woven into every seam, every weld, every thoughtful choice. This is a vehicle designed not for Instagram, but for impact. Not for showrooms, but for soil, sweat, and sincere living. It's the kind of truck that becomes part of your story, not as a possession, but as a partner. And as the sun catches that bronze accent along the fender flare, just for a moment you realize some things were never meant to be forgotten. They were only waiting for the right time to return. The Stout is back, not to rewrite history, but to remember it, to reclaim the spirit of straightforward strength and translate it for a new generation that values authenticity over affectation, reliability over hype, and quiet confidence over empty noise. Slide inside the 2026 Toyota Stout, and you don't just enter a cabin, you step into a space that feels like it was made for you, not just for someone like you. The door closes with a soft, solid sigh, a sound that speaks of tight seals, quality materials, and a sense of sanctuary. No hollow thuds, no cheap plastics, just calm, composed presence. The air smells faintly clean, like sun-dried cotton and morning air, thanks to the available Nano X air purification system that quietly neutralizes odors, allergens, and even certain viruses without masking them with artificial fragrances. Your hands fall naturally to the steering wheel, thick enough to feel substantial, wrapped in perforated leather that breathes in summer heat and warms quickly on winter mornings. And right where your fingers expect them, physical knobs. Real, tactile, satisfying, to turn dials for climate and volume. In a world obsessed with touchscreens, this small act of rebellion feels like a gift. No fumbling through menace while wearing gloves, no accidental swipes on bumpy roads, just intuitive control exactly when and where you need it. Ahead, the 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster glows to life, not with flashy animations, but with thoughtful clarity. In normal mode, it presents a clean analog-style speedometer flanked by essential data, fuel, temperature, trip computer, all rendered in crisp white, on black typography that's legible in direct sunlight or midnight darkness. But switch to trail mode, and it transforms organically. The speedometer shrinks to a compact circle at the bottom, while the upper 2/3 become a dynamic terrain dashboard showing real time, pitch and roll angles, compass heading, elevation gain, and even individual tire pressure readings. It's not gimmickry, it's utility made beautiful. To the right, the 14-inch center touchscreen floats above the dash like a piece of polished obsidian, its anti-glare coating eliminating reflections even when the sun hangs directly overhead. Toyota's latest Multimedia Plus interface operates with smartphone-like fluidity. Swipe left for climate, right for media, up for recent destinations, but crucially, it never abandons physical controls. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connect before you've finished buckling your seatbelt, while embedded navigation with offline maps ensures you won't lose your way when cell service vanishes beyond the tree line. But the real magic happens in the details only life reveals. The glove box stays cool on hot days thanks to sheer HVAC ducting, perfect for keeping snacks fresh or medication stable. The center console features tiered storage with a wireless charging pad that holds phones securely even on washboard roads. Dual-level cup holders are sized for everything from delicate ceramic mugs to 40-ounce adventure tumblers, each lined with soft, touch silicone that prevents rattling and scratching. Even the door pockets are thoughtfully deepened to hold tablets upright, ideal for displaying trail maps or keeping kids entertained on long drives, while their reinforced bottoms prevent sagging under weight. This is interior design born not in boardrooms, but in real life by engineers who've spilled coffee in their own trucks, hauled muddy gear after weekend adventures, and understood that a vehicle's cabin should adapt to your life, not force you to adapt to it. Now breathe deeply. Notice the air, crisp, clean, almost mountain fresh even on congested highways. That's the available Nano X air purification system at work, a technology borrowed from Toyota's luxury Lexus division that releases hydroxyl radicals to neutralize allergens, odors, and even certain viruses circulating in the cabin. After a day at the beach with sandy towels and sunscreen-scented air, a 15-minute refresh cycle leaves the interior smelling like a rain-washed forest. After transporting wet dogs or gym bags, it eliminates lingering odors without masking them with artificial fragrances. It's the kind of feature you don't notice until it's missing, until you drive someone else's vehicle and realize how accustomed you've become to breathing easy. Climate control operates with near-silent precision through a tree-zone system that accounts for solar load via a tiny sensor embedded in the windshield header. Drive east at sunrise with low-angle light flooding the cabin. The system automatically increases airflow to the driver's side to compensate for solar heating. Cruise west at dusk with cooling shadows. It gently reduces output to maintain perfect equilibrium. Rear passengers enjoy their own dedicated vents with physical dials, no begging the driver to adjust temperature, while available heated and ventilated rear seats ensure everyone travels in comfort regardless of season or seating position. On chilly mornings, the steering wheel warms gradually, not with sudden heat that startles, but with gentle, even warmth that feels like sunlight spreading across your palms. On sweltering afternoons, ventilated seats pull air through perforations in the cushion and backrest, creating a subtle cooling effect that prevents that sticky, uncomfortable feeling after hours behind the wheel. Close the door and the world outside doesn't disappear, it simply recedes to a respectful distance. Acoustic laminated glass in the windshield and front side windows blocks high-frequency road noise while allowing pleasant sounds, birdsong, gentle rain, your own laughter, to filter through naturally. Triple-sealed door apertures eliminate the hollow thumps and wind whistles that plague lesser trucks, while strategic placement of sound, deadening materials in the firewall, floor pan, and wheel wells absorbs low-frequency drone from tires and drivetrain. The result: a cabin that feels like a sanctuary at highway speeds, conversations flow without raised voices, podcasts remain intelligible without cranking volume, and fatigue melts away because your brain isn't constantly filtering out mechanical noise. Yet Toyota understands that complete silence isn't always desirable, especially off-road, where auditory cues matter. That's why the available Trail Listen feature exists with a single press. The active noise cancellation system temporarily reduces its intervention, allowing you to hear critical sounds like approaching water, shifting gravel beneath tires, or even wildlife movement near the trail, without sacrificing the cabin's fundamental refinement. For music lovers, the available 17-speaker JBL Studio surround system transforms the cabin into a mobile concert hall. But this isn't just about volume, it's about precision. Aluminum dome tweeters positioned at ear level deliver crystalline highs without harshness. Mid-range drivers embedded in the doors create a wide, stable soundstage that makes vocals feel present and instruments distinct. A compact but powerful subwoofer mounted beneath the rear seat delivers deep, articulate bass that you feel in your chest without overwhelming the mix. And the system's Clari-Fi technology works magic on compressed streaming audio, rebuilding lost harmonics and restoring detail to make even low, bitrate files sound rich and full. Best of all, it adapts intelligently. Roll down windows for fresh air, and the system automatically rebalances output to compensate for sound leakage. Activate navigation prompts, and it subtly ducks music volume without cutting it entirely, maintaining atmosphere while ensuring directions are heard. But let's talk about what happens when life gets messy, because let's be honest, trucks exist for messy moments. Your dog shakes off lake water across the rear seat. The Softex upholstery beads moisture like a duck's back. Simply wipe with a towel and it's dry. Kids spill juice in the cup-holders. The removable rubberized floor mats lift out in one piece and hose clean in seconds, their textured surface channeling liquid toward drainage channels rather than pooling. Return from a muddy trail with boots caked in red clay. The footwells feature ribbed rubber flooring that traps debris until you're ready to clean, while scuff plates at every door opening resist scratches from work boots and rock climbing shoes. Even the headliner receives nano coating treatment to repel stains and odors, a blessing after transporting wet camping gear or forgotten groceries that leaked in the heat. This isn't a cabin pretending to be delicate, it's one proudly engineered for real life. Yet within this durability lives unexpected elegance. Open, poor wood trim on the dash and doors provides visual warmth without the cold slipperiness of piano. Black plastic, brushed aluminum accents catch light with subtle shimmer rather than garish glare. Ambient lighting isn't a single color, but a spectrum of 16 hues you can set to match your mood. Cool ocean blue for calm commutes, warm sunset amber for evening drives, or even a gentle forest green that makes night drives feel like moving through a dream. The lighting doesn't blast from obvious sources, it pools softly along the dash contour, traces door handles with delicate halos, and illuminates footwells with just enough glow to guide your steps without disrupting night vision. And this adaptability extends to the digital realm through Toyota's connected services ecosystem, a suite of features designed not to distract but to empower. The available 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot supports up to 10 devices simultaneously, perfect for keeping passengers entertained on long drives or allowing you to upload photos from your adventure while parked at a scenic overlook. But connectivity here serves purpose beyond streaming. The integrated adventure log automatically records your journeys when trail mode is activated, geotagging photos with GPS coordinates, elevation data, and even weather conditions at the time each image was captured. Later, You can export these logs as shareable journey maps, complete with your route overlaid on satellite imagery and time-stamped photo markers, to relive adventures or share them with fellow explorers. Over, the Air software updates arrive silently overnight, refining everything from throttle response calibration to camera image processing without requiring dealership visits. The system learns your habits too. After noticing you always activate seat heaters at 6 a.m. on weekdays, it begins pre-conditioning the cabin 5 minutes before your typical departure time. It recognizes your frequent destinations and suggests departure times based on real-time traffic. Alerting you when leaving 15 minutes earlier could save 30 minutes of congestion. This isn't artificial intelligence trying to be clever. It's technology quietly working in the background to remove friction from your day, anticipating needs before you voice them, solving problems before they arise, and fading into the background when not needed. Yet for all its technology and refinement, the Stout's soul remains rooted in something simpler: the joy of driving. Turn the key, and the i-Farsi Max hybrid powertrain awakens, not with a roar but with a refined hum, the electric motor spinning the engine to life so smoothly you might miss the transition entirely. Select drive, release the brake, and the Stout moves away with serene immediacy, electric torque filling the gaps where turbo lag might otherwise intrude. Around town, it feels almost car-like in its composure, the steering precise without being twitchy, the ride compliant without being floaty, the cabin isolating you from potholes and expansion joints without disconnecting you from the road's character. But venture beyond pavement, and the transformation unfolds organically. Activate trail mode via the console dial, and the suspension subtly firms to control body roll on uneven surfaces while maintaining wheel articulation. The throttle mapping sharpens for precise low-speed control, critical when crawling over rocks or navigating narrow ledges. Multi-terrain select offers 4 preset modes. Mud sand prioritizes momentum with reduced intervention. Loose rock maximizes traction on unstable surfaces. Mogul mode allows controlled wheel slip for crawling over boulder fields, and rock mode locks differentials and manages brake pressure for technical climbs. Crawl control engages with a steering wheel button press, automatically maintaining speeds between 1.5 mph while you focus entirely on steering, like having an expert co-driver managing throttle and brakes across obstacles that would challenge even seasoned off-roaders. This is the heart of the 2026 Toyota Stout, not in its horsepower numbers or cargo ratings, but in its willingness to simply be there for the beautiful, messy, ordinary, extraordinary tapestry of your life, not as a tool you use, but as a companion you trust, not as a purchase you made, but as a promise you keep, mile after mile, season after season, year after year. There's a kind of peace that doesn't come from silence, but from certainty. The quiet confidence that settles in your chest when you know, without a doubt, that your vehicle won't let you down, whether you're driving through a midnight rainstorm, towing a trailer across 3 states, or just running late for your kid's soccer game. That peace, that's the soul of the 2026 Toyota Stout. It's not flashy, it doesn't need to be, because true reliability isn't announced with fanfare. It's lived day after day, mile after mile, in the small moments that build a life. And over time, something remarkable happens. The Stout stops feeling like a machine and starts feeling like a member of the family. It's there for the big milestones: the cross-country move, the first camping trip with the new pup, the spontaneous road trip that turns into your favorite memory. But it's also there for the quiet ones: the pre-dawn drive to the hospital when hope feels fragile, the grocery run after a long workday, the slow cruise home under a sky full of stars. It never judges your destinations. It never questions your motives. It simply shows up faithful, capable, steady, and in doing so, it gives you the greatest gift of all, the freedom to say yes to life without worrying if your truck will cooperate. This isn't marketing speak. This is legacy. For decades, Toyota has built trucks not to impress at auto shows, but to endure in the real world, on ranches in Montana, construction sites in Florida, mountain trails in Colorado, and suburban driveways from coast to coast. The Stout carries that legacy forward, not as nostalgia but as a promise. Under the hood, the standard i-Farsi Max hybrid powertrain, a twin turbocharged 2.4, later in line, 4 paired with an electric motor, delivers 326 horsepower and a staggering 465 lb-ft of torque, all available from just 600 PM. But more impressive than the numbers is how effortless it feels. There's no turbo lag, no harsh shifts, no drama, just smooth, confident power that responds exactly as you expect. And thanks to the hybrid assist, fuel efficiency improves without sacrificing capability, giving you more range between fill-ups and fewer stops on long adventures. For those who prefer pure combustion, the optional 3.5-liter V6 delivers 295 horsepower with a throaty, satisfying growl and robust low-end pull, paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission tuned for both responsiveness and refinement. But here's what really matters: this isn't just power for show. It's power with purpose, and with Toyota's obsessive engineering behind it. The transmission shifts smoothly because it's calibrated over millions of real-world miles. The cooling system stays calm under load because it was tested in Death Valley heat and Alaskan cold. The electrical architecture powers your gadgets without draining your peace of mind because Toyota engineers check every connection, every sensor, every line of code. This commitment to durability extends far beyond the engine. The body, on-frame chassis, uses high-strength steel with strategic reinforcements at stress points, providing a rock-solid foundation that resists flexing under heavy loads or rough terrain. The suspension, double wishbone up front and a 5-link coil setup in the rear, is tuned for both on-road comfort and off-road articulation, delivering a ride that's composed on pavement yet unshaken by potholes, gravel, or rutted trails. Skid plates protect vital components like the oil pan, fuel tank, and transfer case, while the aluminum composite bed resists dents, rust, and UV degradation, no matter how many times you drop tools or haul wet firewood. Even the paint is multi-layered with anti-chip technology, so your Stout looks sharp long after lesser trucks show their scars. And then there's the peace of mind that comes with ownership. The 2026 Stout arrives with Toyota's industry-leading 5-year 60,000-mile powertrain warranty and 2-year unlimited mile roadside assistance. Because reliability isn't just about avoiding breakdowns, it's about knowing help is there if you ever need it. But here's the truth: most Stout owners will never need it. Why? Because Toyota builds reliability into every bolt, every weld, every line of software. The brake system uses fade-resistant pads and vented rotors tested under continuous downhill loads. The electrical system includes dual batteries in hybrid models to ensure accessories never drain your starting power. The infotainment software receives over-the-air updates silently overnight, so your truck gets smarter over time without dealership visits. Even the air conditioning system is calibrated to maintain cabin comfort while towing max loads in 100-degree heat, something many competitors simply can't claim. But the Stout's genius isn't just in what it does, it's in how it makes you feel. There's a deep, unshakable calm that comes from knowing your vehicle won't become a source of stress in an already stressful world. You stop worrying about surprise repair bills. You stop hesitating before saying yes to last-minute road trips or helping a friend move across town. You stop checking the oil every other day. Instead, you start living fully, freely, fearlessly, because your truck has your back. This is the gift of genuine reliability, not the absence of problems, but the presence of peace. And it's a gift that compounds over time. While other vehicles might start developing rattles in the dash after 50,000 miles or transmissions that shift with hesitation after 100,000, the Stout maintains its composure because its foundation was poured deep from day one. The high-strength steel frame resists flexing that leads to squeaks and rattles. The wiring harnesses are sheathed in abrasion-resistant loom and routed away from heat sources. Even the rubber seals around doors and windows are formulated with UV inhibitors, so they stay pliable for years instead of hardening and cracking. A small detail that prevents wind noise and water leaks down the road. And as the years pass, the Stout accumulates not just miles, but meaning. The faint scratch on the rear bumper from that time you backed too close to the garage, while distracted by good news on the radio. The slightly worn driver's seat bolster from countless hours spent behind the wheel. The faint scent of pine needles that somehow lingers in the carpet after that camping trip last autumn. These aren't flaws, they're footnotes in a shared story. The Stout becomes the silent witness to life's unfolding narrative. The pre-dawn drives to the hospital when hope felt fragile. The triumphant returns home after hard-won accomplishments. The quiet solace of evening drives when the world felt heavy and the road offered perspective. It carries soccer cleats and muddy paws, lumber for DI projects and kayaks for weekend waves, groceries for ordinary dinners and coolers for extraordinary celebrations. It never judges your destinations or questions your motives. It simply shows up, faithful, capable, steady. This is the legacy Toyota has cultivated not through advertising slogans, but through decades of showing up for real people in real moments. It's why you see 20-year-old Tacoma still working construction sites with pride. It's why overlanders trust their lives to Land Cruisers on transcontinental journeys. It's why families pass down Toyotas like heirlooms, not for resale value, but for the memories embedded in every scratch, every faded seat, every mile logged with love. The 2026 Stout enters this lineage not as an imposter, but as a worthy heir honoring heritage while embracing progress, respecting tradition while welcoming innovation. It understands that the best trucks aren't measured in torque or towing capacity alone. They're measured in moments made possible, in memories carried safely home, in the quiet certainty that tomorrow's journey, whatever it may bring, begins with a simple turn of the key, a deep breath, and the steady presence of a friend who never lets you down. So as twilight settles and the cabin glows with soft amber light, as the engine ticks gently while cooling after a long drive, as the world outside grows quiet and the road ahead rests in darkness, there's a profound comfort in knowing your Stout waits patiently in the driveway, not as a depreciating asset, not as a status symbol, but as a partner in the beautiful, messy, ordinary, extraordinary tapestry of your life, ready for tomorrow's errands, ready for next weekend's adventure, ready for whatever comes next without fanfare, without failure, without condition. This is more than reliability. This is relationship. And in a world of noise and novelty, that kind of quiet constancy isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. The Stout doesn't promise perfection. No machine can, but it promises something more valuable: presence. Day after day, mile after mile, year after year, and sometimes, especially on long drives under star-dusted skies or quiet mornings when frost feathers the windshield, that's the only promise that truly matters. At AutoXplore, we don't just review cars. We honor the machines that move us through life, not just across roads, but through joy, through hardship, through everything in between. And the 2026 Toyota Stout, it doesn't just carry cargo, it carries care. So go ahead, turn the key, let the world hear you coming, not with a roar, but with quiet confidence. Because the road isn't just asphalt, it's your story. And your Stout, it's already ready, always has been. All there comes a moment not marked by calendars, but by character, when you realize your 2026 Toyota Stout is no longer just a truck. It's a keeper of your story, a silent witness to the beautiful, messy, ordinary, extraordinary tapestry of your life. It was there the morning your daughter took her first steps in the backyard, its bed filled with gardening soil you'd hauled home the day before. It was there during the cross-country move, when everything felt uncertain, carrying boxes labeled kitchen, memories, and hope. It was there last winter, plowing your elderly neighbor's driveway at dawn without being asked, headlights cutting through snow like quiet resolve. And it was there this past weekend, parked at a remote overlook as you watched the sunset paint the valley gold, engine off, windows down, world at peace. This is the truth the Stout reveals over time. It doesn't just carry weight, it carries meaning. Every scratch has a backstory. Every dent marks a mission completed. Even the faint scent of pine needles embedded in the floor mats smells like resilience. Because this truck wasn't built for showrooms or spec sheets. It was built for soil, sweat, sacrifice, and the quiet dignity of people who believe that showing up matters more than standing out. From the moment you press the start button, whether it's the refined hum of the i-4C Max Hybrid or the throaty growl of the 3.5L V6, you're not just igniting an engine, you're awakening a promise forged in decades of real-world validation, tested in Death Valley heat, Alaskan cold, and mountain passes that break lesser rigs. The hybrid system delivers 326 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque with seamless immediacy, electric motors filling the gaps where turbo lag might intrude, creating a driving experience that's both serene and surprisingly spirited. Around town, it glides in near silence, emitting zero tailpipe emissions while sipping fuel at a rate that defies logic. But step on the accelerator on a highway on-ramp, and the gasoline engine kicks in with smooth authority, the transmission managing power delivery so seamlessly you'll forget you're driving a hybrid. This duality, efficiency without compromise, power without pretense, is the Stout's secret weapon. It conquers commutes by dawn and trails by dusk. It doesn't force you to choose between who you are and who you need to be. It says you can be both. Step inside, and the cabin embraces you like a trusted friend. No gimmicks. No distractions. Just thoughtful design born from real-world need. The seats, wrapped in water, resistant Softex or available premium leather, are sculpted for endurance, with bolstering that supports your spine during long hauls and ventilation that keeps you cool when the sun beats down. Physical knobs for climate and volume remain proudly intact, because nobody wants to swipe through menace while wearing gloves or bouncing down a dirt road. The 14-inch touchscreen floats above the dash like a command console, offering wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and embedded navigation that works even when your phone loses signal. But Ford didn't stop there. They listened to real users, ranchers, contractors, overlanders, and built features that solve actual problems. The available tailgate work surface flips down to reveal ruler markings, cuff-holders, and a pen holder, turning your tailgate into a mobile office. The LED cargo lighting system includes perimeter lights, bed lamps, and even under-rail strips that illuminate the entire box after dark, so you're never fumbling for tools at midnight. The powered, deployable running boards extend automatically when doors open, making cab access easier for crews in bulky boots, then retract flush to preserve ground clearance off-road. Even the glove box is climate-controlled, cooling snacks on summer days or keeping medication stable in winter. Because Toyota knows your Stout doesn't just carry gear, it carries lives. But let's talk about what happens when the unexpected strikes, because in real life, it always does. A sudden storm floods the county road. A neighbor's barn catches fire. A child gets injured miles from town. This is where the Stout transforms from tool to guardian. With up to 500 pounds of towing capacity and over 500 pounds of payload, it can haul rescue equipment, medical supplies, or even serve as an impromptu ambulance when every second counts. The standard Toyota Safety Sense 3 Zoseat acts as a silent co-pilot. Pre-collision system with pedestrian detection can detect vehicles, cyclists, and even large animals, applying brakes if you're distracted. Full-speed dynamic radar cruise control maintains a set distance in traffic, reducing fatigue on long hauls. Lane departure alert with steering assist gently nudges you back if you drift, because even heroes need help staying alert after a 16-hour shift. These aren't gimmicks. They're lifelines. And they're backed by a cabin built like a fortress high-strength steel safety cage, 8 airbags, and crumple zones engineered to absorb impact energy away from occupants. This is safety not as a checkbox, but as a covenant. Yet for all its might, the Stout never forgets its role as a companion in daily life. The available JBL sound system with 17 speakers fills the cabin with rich, balanced audio, even at highway speeds. So your favorite playlist or podcast remains clear without cranking volume. Wireless device charging keeps your phone powered without tangled cords. Tri-zone climate control ensures everyone stays comfortable. And with over-the-air software updates, your Stout actually improves over time, refining everything from throttle response to camera calibration, so you never need dealership visits just for software tweaks. But perhaps the most revolutionary feature is the one you never see: durability by design. The frame uses high-strength steel, fully boxed for maximum rigidity. The suspension components are engineered for both on-road comfort and off-road articulation. The wiring harnesses are sheathed in abrasion-resistant loom. Even the paint receives multi-coat treatment with anti-chip polymers that maintain luster after years of stone impacts and UV exposure. This is why you see 20-year-old Toyotas still working with pride. Why fleets buy them by the dozen. Why families pass them down like heirlooms, not for resale value, but for the memories embedded in every scratch, every faded seat, every mile logged with love. And that's the final truth the Stout reveals. It's not about the machine. It's about the people it empowers. The single dad who uses his Stout to tow his daughter's 4-H livestock trailer to state fair, teaching her responsibility along the way. The volunteer firefighter who races through mountain passes at 3 a.m., trusting his truck to handle ice and curves with equal grace. The small business owner who built her landscaping empire one lawn at a time, her Stout hauling mowers, mulch, and dreams across town. These are the real owners of the Stout, not just drivers, but builders, protectors. And the truck, it's their silent partner, asking nothing in return but good fuel, routine care, and the occasional wash to keep the road dust at bay. In a world obsessed with novelty and planned obsolescence, the Stout offers something radical: longevity with dignity. It doesn't depreciate into irrelevance. It matures into reliability. It becomes less of a possession and more of a legacy, a rolling testament to the belief that some things are worth building to last. So as the sun sets on another long day, and you park your Stout in the yard, engine ticking softly as it cools, you don't just see a vehicle. You see a reflection of your own resilience, your refusal to quit, your commitment to showing up day after day, no matter the weather, the weight, or the wear. At AutoXplore, we chase machines that move us, not just across roads, but through life. And the 2026 Toyota Stout, it doesn't just move cargo, it moves civilization. It carries the tools that build our homes, the gear that feeds our families, the hope that tomorrow will be better than today. So go ahead, turn the key. Let the world hear you coming, not with fanfare, not with flash, but with quiet, unshakable certainty. Because greatness doesn't shout, it simply shows up and gets the job done. And your Stout, it's already ready, always has been, always will be, as will be.